Hello, hello, everyone. Hopping on. Welcome to Wise Women Wednesdays. We're going to give it a few moments for people to log on. I am super excited and also sad. This is the last one. Until, I have to do it again if God calls me to start doing these lives again in this setting, right? Doing Wise Women Wednesdays. But as of right now, this will be the last one. We was going strong for the month of March and month of April. I'm sorry. And so it's been really fun having different women hop on and have some real conversations with. I just think it's important for us as women to have spaces like this where we can grow and learn from one another. So I'm super excited about today. The topic is balancing all things. And so, as we know, as women, we are always juggling a lot of things, right? In and outside of the home. And so, what does this look like? And how do we do this in a healthy way is important for us to discuss. So, our guest today is Tiffany Mensah. And so, I'm so excited to have this conversation. Me and her have a lot in common. And so, we laugh about it all the time. Like, literally, we do a lot of things alike. And so I knew that she was the perfect person to have this conversation with. And so we'll give it a moment and she will be joining me. Let's see. All right. Give it a minute for her to hop on here. Hello to everybody joining in on this call. If this is your first time, we welcome you. This is a very casual time. We have conversation just like we are on the couch, just having a girl talk. And so if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section. Or if something is sounding good, throw it in there for us as well. But we'll just be having some conversations going back and forth. Hello, hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
All
Hello.
right. Yes. I was just letting everybody know what to expect. We're going to be having conversations going back and
Yeah.
forth. You're free to ask questions as well, or, you like the challenge as well, too. So I expect you to come with the conversations today. So,
Okay. Okay. Let's
so
bring it.
yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you first start off with just introducing who you are for people that are watching that don't know you.
Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Tiffany Mensah. I'm an advocate. I am a consultant. I'm a speaker. A lot of my advocacy is done through my nonprofit called Doves Network, which is in daily overcoming violence and embracing safety, where I'm the executive director. Birthed out of my story of growing up in a home with domestic violence and became my life passion to make sure we can heal this next generation, heal from that trauma impact through intervention, prevention, and empowerment. Through that journey to get there was a lot because I didn't see that for my future, but my past, I have close to 20 years experience, Fortune 500 companies and business operations, marketing, advertising, project management, and also my own business, LLC, Mensa and Co. And that also has led me into a life of speaking to get the message out. So I'm a wife to AJ. We have entered into year 10, so I'm excited for that. And fur mama to Blue. That is my husky puppy. I mean, he don't look it, but he young.
Right? Yes, he is her fur baby for sure. Yes. So thank you, Tiffany, for joining me. So as y'all just heard, she said a mouthful. So that is why I knew that she was the right person to have this conversation with. Balancing all things, right? What does that look like? And as I mentioned, like, how do we do this in a healthy way? So let's just dive right into it.
Yeah.
So man, just as you were talking, what popped in my head is I remember people making comments to me saying, "You have a lot on your plate. You have too much going on."
Hmm.
And to me, it didn't feel that way. Like I knew there was a lot going on, but I
Yeah.
knew I could handle it.
Yeah.
And so I think people on the outside don't know what that looks like or what it feels like, right? For somebody that actually knows
Yeah.
themselves well and how
Yeah.
to actually manage those things well.
Mm.
So I'm just curious, have you ever encountered anybody saying things like that to you, or
Oh
and
yeah.
how'd you deal with it?
All the time. It's one because I think our generation sees, and even coming up, like our generation has glorified the doing the most, doing it all, right? So you got a lot of stuff in your plate. So that's like, oh, sometimes that's glorified. Sometimes it's like, if I had my way, I wouldn't have a lot of things. And there's a difference of one, the person is graced for a lot of things. So you got to be called in, and then there's the person that's just doing a lot. And as I look back, so I'm in this whole reflective journey as I'm about to cross into 40 this summer. And when I look at my 20s, I had a lot on my plate and I was doing a lot of the busy work. But
Mhm,
then when I got into my 30s, and that was when I got married, and marrying the purpose partner and who God has for you is so important. He like gave me insight, like, why are you doing all of that? Like, is there purpose in that? Which also redefines like why am I doing all that? Why is everything? So then when you are clearly defined in your identity and your purpose and what you're supposed to be doing, then it's like, yeah, I'm graced to have all the things on my plate, but it's not just things on my plate. It's the intentional things that I'm supposed to be doing in the season
mhm.
that I'm doing them.
Yeah,
So that's how I handle
absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that because what at least for myself, when I was doing things that aligned with who I was, right, the things that I was supposed to be doing, it didn't even feel like
Right.
work. It didn't feel like it was just another thing added. And I learned how to say no to the things that didn't line up, right? So certain boards and different other opportunities, right? Whether it was a job or anything like that, right? If somebody asked me to do it, I would be able to look at it and be like, does this line up with where I'm at? Like, does this line up with God, what God says that I'm supposed to be doing in this season?
Yeah.
If yes, okay, I'll pray about it, consider it. But if it's something that don't even make sense, I'm like, yeah, no, that's a hard no. And
Yeah.
an easy no, but a hard no is in like, I'm giving it to you
Yeah.
strong because, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, and AJ was the first one to get me to that understanding, right? Because what would happen was I'm pulling him with me, like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do this and do this. And he's like, but why though? And I had she's a great friend of mine who also was very intentional in like, I ain't saying yes to everything. It don't matter because this is how this connects to this pillar of my life. And she taught me to really look at that. And then I was like, oh, because I already knew how God designed me, but a lot of the extra things that I was doing didn't make sense according to that. Like it doesn't measure up with that. So because I'm doing that, it's like, mm, it feels weird saying no to that, but it feels so much freedom in that. And then
Mhm.
once you understand too, like God's way and how he looks at time and the talents you're given, and you got to provide that stewardship report.
Yeah,
Like I can't do everything else, but then if you also don't have a plan or know how that lines up in your life, everybody else can drive your calendar and your time accordingly. So you better get locked in. But so I started moving into that, but then when my father died, it'll be 3 years this November. And then AJ's dad died 6 months after, I think 6 or 8 months after my dad died. You really start
mhm.
looking at life like, wait a minute. I need to be doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing that God designed me to put me on this earth for. So that means my yeses is very calculated. My no's
Yeah,
are very calculated. And the freedom of the no, like, nah, it's no.
right.
I have to show up for you differently than how you think I should show up. Maybe I'm not
Yeah,
showing up for you in an event, but I'm talking to you on the back end, your cheerleader, your coach girl, because
right.
it's not going to take away from what I'm supposed to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't know, as you were talking, what dropped in my mind was how are you building your kingdom resume?
Yeah.
Like, if you're able to like write all those things down and look at them, they should be connecting to each other, right?
Right.
Everything should be intertwined and making sense. If you
Yeah.
got something it's on there, but it seems like you're all the way left or right, like, you might need to do some shifting around on that resume to make it make sense,
Yeah.
right? Like you said, we're going to be held accountable one day. God's going to be like, how did you steward the things that I
Yeah.
wanted you to do?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so, yeah, as you were talking, that dropped in. I was like, kingdom resume. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it even too, because even if you don't know your design and you don't know what I'm supposed to be, and it may feel like I'm supposed to go to work, I'm supposed to do these things, like this is how I'm wired. Like again, the first half of my 20s was like that.
Mhm.
And but he still uses all of that for your good. It still fuels into your ultimate kingdom resume. But if you know the majority of things you're doing is because someone just asked
Yeah.
you to do and you
Yeah.
hate doing it, it's not, as my friend would say, it's not an authentic yes, then that probably sticks to that it's not a part of your design.
Right, right. You're dreading
Right,
going to that thing.
right.
Yeah. Gotta pay
Yeah.
attention. Gotta pay attention. So how do you keep everything balanced? What works for you?
So for me, it takes out, I have like different pillars of that I'm supposed to be focusing in on. What are all, like listing, what are all the things? What are all the things? And then prioritization.
Mhm,
So as a certified project program manager, like deadlines and prioritization and forecasting what's going to come into this, a lot of that runs natural,
mhm,
but within that, that quiet time of prayer is
mhm,
like, I got all these things to do, but Lord, what am I supposed to be focusing in on? And for some, it may like what? Like no, like legit, because I've done all the things. I've been too close to the edge of burnout. I've been burnt out,
mhm.
like not to the edge. I've been there.
Yeah.
And it's been, I know when I'm off center. And for me to find center, I have to get quiet, have to say every day, Lord, teach me how to order my days. What should I be focusing on this day? And honestly, out of the to-do list, there'll be certain elements that just stick out more than others. Like, okay, well, this is the priority of what we're going to focus on this day.
Mhm.
This is what we're going to try to get done for this week, or this is what the month goals look like. So I'm still planning, like, don't be lazy in your planning. some
Right.
some may take an excuse like, oh, I'm just gonna pray and wait for God. There's a partnership, there's a
Right.
dance in this. And in that, I find peace and can roll. I'm good with being okay if the to-do list isn't done
Mhm.
anymore. Like even if I made small steps to accomplish that, that's fine. Being okay, because then if I'm just continuing to press, I'm dabbling into the edge of
Yep.
perfectionism, which I am a recovering perfectionist. So it's
Yep.
okay if the to-do list isn't done, but I made progress on it.
Mhm.
This is how I'm gonna like achieve this. And then accountability on that, like I would definitely say my husband is my biggest accountability partner on there. He also helps me see my blind spots. If I can tell when I'm overwhelmed, I'm off balance. I'm off center. I'm doing too much. I haven't stayed in the position of prayer to get my peace, to get my direction, and I'm all over the
Yep.
place. And then my
Yep.
husband is like, "So you tripping, right? You just need to breathe. It's okay to just sleep for the day, right?"
Right.
So those are some of the things that I do.
Yeah, I know. For me, I definitely live by a planner. I
Hmm.
have to see it in front of me. So I'm constantly writing things down, right? Like, again, what do I need to do this week? What do I need to focus on just today?
Yep.
Right. And so that helps me. And it helps me with keeping my stuff organized and also the things that we have going on in the home. The kids, have stuff all
Hmm.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not even just juggling my calendar, it's also everybody else's calendar at the same time.
Yeah.
And so for us, that works because even they are starting to want to know what's on the calendar, what do we have going on, right? And so everybody knows to go to mom's calendar
Yes.
to see what is going on. So if it's not written down, it's not happening. Yeah, and I have to stay focused.
Yeah.
And again, I've struggled with, like what you said, that perfectionism. If I did not get to something, I would beat myself like crazy. Like I was so hard. I think
Yeah.
we could be our worst
Yeah.
critics, right? And
Yeah.
so I would be so hard on myself, like, why didn't I get that done? Or blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah. And
Yeah.
then, like you said, it was just like, you know what? There's grace. There's a whole nother day tomorrow.
Yep.
Like it's not that serious because you will drive yourself crazy. Like you said, I've been burnt out and all that kind of stuff and been off balance before. And
Hmm.
so we're not perfect at this
Correct.
thing. Let me just say that.
It's a
We're
consistent
constantly growing
recalibration.
in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But once you find a rhythm, and then like
Hmm.
you said, when you get off, your body
Yeah.
knows, right? Like you can tell when you're off. And so that's what helps me too, is I can tell when I'm off. And the people around me, as you said, AJ, the people around me, even the kids be like, Mom, you need to take a nap. You need to take a nap
Yep. Yep.
because it's easily, you can easily tell.
Easily
So
tell. Yeah.
man, thank God for the people in our
For
lives.
sure. For sure.
Oh, man. Yeah, so I will say, I mean, we talked a little earlier, but it is administrative day. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought that was even perfect. I
Right.
was like, well, look at that. We're talking about balancing all things.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes.
So I will even say, like, my family outside, right? Like my parents, my siblings, they would have a hard time with the way I keep our life structured.
Hmm.
So they'll be like, it's not written on her calendar. She's not going. They're not doing this. And I could
Yeah.
just say, nope, we're not doing that. Or nope, we need a rest this day. Or nope, we're not going to be running all over town, all that kind of
Hmm.
stuff. And so I think that's even important for people to know is it's okay for you to even set boundaries with the people close to
Yeah.
you in order
Yeah.
to have that healthy balance for
Yep.
yourself. I think that's a hard thing to do,
Mhm.
but once you get there, let me tell you, there's freedom in it. There is so much freedom in it.
Yeah, because I mean, you want to show up as your best self. And when you come into the spaces they invite you to, and if I'm tired and burnt out, I'm coming grumpy and I'm coming cranky. Like, it's just natural. I need
Yeah,
sleep. And these are the
yeah,
fruits of when I don't get sleep. So if you want me to show up to your best self, then hey,
right.
let me sleep. Understand my sleep because it may not be a great time if I come otherwise. And my family has learned that as well. Like, oh, okay, you're tired.
Yeah.
Yep, we are. And it's one of like my ops director, Erica's on here. Shout out to Erica. She put those naps are crucial when you're off balance. So
Mm.
listen, I love naps as a kid, but as an adult, I'm like, oh, I can't nap. Oh, it's like, but AJ is intentional
Uh-huh.
like working through the pandemic, even when we were in the offices, like he would find a hideout in the office somewhere and get a power nap. And I would
Mm.
be like, no. But now I've realized, I'm like, Jesus took naps.
He did.
Like he's just being biblical. And
Yeah.
it's like literally has helped me to like, okay, it's okay to just everything is gonna be itself for a
Yep.
half hour for 15 minutes if I just take this little bit of time in the middle of my day
Yeah.
to do it. And also, as we talked about the boundaries, when I mentioned Erica, it's important to pull out too the people that help you balance all the things.
Mm.
So I may not be balancing all the things, but I have a great tribe around me
Yep.
and a team that's like, I'm gonna help you with this as well. And in that, I make sure they get some rest.
Yep.
Also, like you got to make sure you're not just making sure I'm looking out for me and I'm gonna
Mm.
take these naps, but you continue to do what you're supposed to do. Like,
Yeah.
no, it has to be equal across the board because we are all our better selves when we literally look at the foundation of rest. Because God wouldn't have even given us the blueprint in the creation to have one day to do nothing,
Yes.
one day, 24 hours, and we feel like we can't do that because all the things are happening or all the things are going on. But that's a surrender in
Mm-hmm.
rest. That's a surrender in structure because God did everything he was going to do in them 6 days. So if you've done everything you're supposed to do in the 6 days, then you shouldn't, even if you ain't finished, you should just
Right.
lean into that Sabbath to just rest. So then you can be even more better when you pick back up. All right, new week, let's go. We're not dreading the whole nother week because we've literally fallen into the fundamental framework in which God designed us to do, which is do what you need to do, steward it well,
Yep.
get your rest. That's
Absolutely.
the
Absolutely.
that's
Man.
the framework for balancing all the things.
Yeah.
I'm not more busy than the God, the creator is. He did a whole
Yep.
world
Right.
in six and
Literally.
was like, and I'm out. Good night.
Yep. Yep. Man, you just said three things. Okay, make sure I can remember it all. Three things I want to touch on. Yes, you said Jesus took naps. Yeah, he was doing ministry, and then he was like, "All right." I need to go on this side to get away from
Consistently,
the people so I can have my me time. Right?
consistently dipped out.
Yeah. And I think that's just important for people to know. That's why it's important for us to spend time in the Word,
Yeah,
because it's given to us to teach us how to live our lives.
yeah,
Like, it's right there. So like if you just open it and you struggling with something, it's in there, right? So I
yeah.
think that's definitely important that you touched on that. And then
Before
you
you
was
go
talking about
to
the
the
oh,
next one, I want to
yeah,
just expound on that though.
yeah,
Like a lot of people look at, because we don't know who may watch. A lot of people may look at the Bible like, oh, it's just a book of old stories,
mm,
throwback. No, it is a book of principles, a blueprint on how to literally structure your life. If you starting to
yeah,
like, I don't understand all of that, pick a translation. One of the things I tell my nieces and nephews who are in their 20s, read a proverb a day.
mhm,
Literally, a proverb a day is that instruction. So
mhm,
literally, the Bible is our principles in which we
yep,
like, all right, let me take this principle and apply it. It's so
yep.
practical. Okay, now
So
point number
practical.
two.
Yeah, no, that's important, because that thing can come alive if you really dissect it the right
Yeah.
way. Like, it will
Yeah.
come alive for sure.
Yep.
Yes. Man, I'm just thinking back on some moments where I had some light bulb moments, and I was like, "What?
Yeah.
That
And for
felt
me, like
real."
when you talk about balance, like Ecclesiastes talk about why you sit here working all day toiling. Like
Hmm.
it's multiple scriptures about you working all day and for what? Like ultimately, God orders it. I want to say it's Proverbs 16:1. Was like, okay, God's still gonna have the ultimate say. You got your plans, but
Hmm.
ultimately He gonna give you what you supposed to have.
Yeah.
Like when we look at Matthew and it talks about the fact of just seek me and everything else is going to be added. When he talk about look at the birds in the air and look all around at how the birds are fed and
Yep.
I take care of them, how will I not take care of you?
Right.
Not much more will I take care of you. Like you ain't got to worry about tomorrow. You ain't got to worry about your needs. I know you need that to live.
Yep.
Like because I know what you need, everything is provided for. So he's consistently telling us throughout the Bible, like, I got you. Rest in me. I got you. Rest in me. The way of how the world goes of like grind, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle. He like,
Hmm.
my yoke is easy. My burden, like, you ain't even got to do all of that. And again, if
Okay.
you just look at how Jesus lived and moved, he was intentional of what his yeses.
Yep.
He ain't trying to minister to every single body. He was like, nope, I'm called to this one. That's
Yep.
the point of knowing who you're called to, your target audience.
Okay.
And once you layer in that, you go strategically there, dip out, get your rest, come back, hit it, equip those that you're supposed to,
Yep.
have a team around you, and you done. That's
Good.
all Bible.
Oh.
Why
Yep. Yep.
why would I not follow the Bible and the principles? Because it literally just gave me a blueprint on how I need to run each and every one of my businesses and my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Yes. That part. No, but seriously, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like it's there for a reason. Like,
Yeah,
and we have to take advantage of it. And even though we know these things, right? Like, we still have to be reminded.
yeah,
Like, and
yeah,
so yeah. And
yeah.
then the next point I want to talk about is you said AJ is faithful with his naps. I'm a little jealous.
Oh yeah. Oh
So
yeah. We
I
can be in the
did.
car anywhere.
Yeah. So when I was little, I did not like taking naps. Like,
Mm,
I remember my mom every Sunday after church, she would make us climb into the bed. We would turn on Lifetime, and then we'd have to lay there until we fell asleep. And I used to whine and complain like, seriously, I'm not tired, I'm not tired. Next thing I know, I'm waking up, right? Because I done took this nap, I done fell asleep.
yeah.
Now as an adult, I can't tell you enough how much I need them, right? And how much I have grown to appreciate those naps. So Mom, I know you're gonna watch this later. Thanks for the naps.
My grandmother, who is 95 years
Hmm.
old, she like I think last time when I was in back in my home state, Michigan, when I went to go see her in December, we were talking. I was like, yeah, I took my nap earlier, and she bust out laughing like, you still take naps? Because yes,
Yeah,
grandmama, yes, like it just do something to you.
yeah.
Naps, I'm afraid to take them because some
Hmm.
like AJ can take them and get back up.
See,
I
I
be
can't.
wanting to because I want to stay asleep.
Yeah,
That's
that's
my
me.
only beef with
Yep,
naps. Like, all right, I'm gonna let this snooze for 8 more times. No, I gotta get
yeah,
up. So,
yeah.
it's a
That's why
balance.
when people be saying I'm just gonna take a power nap, I'm like, like Yeah, no, I need to like sleep. I mean, yeah, a nap is like an
It's a
hour, two
tease.
hours. Like
It's
it's
a
hours.
tease.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
it's a horrible
Yeah,
tease, but I'll
I'm
take it.
with
I'll
you.
do.
Right.
Hmm.
So kudos to AJ for
Yeah,
getting them naps in.
yeah.
Yeah, man. But you know what? I might take me a nap
You
today.
got to.
I just might take me one.
I'm glad this has inspired you to nap.
Yes, it
Yeah.
has. I
Okay.
might do that.
All right.
Then the next thing you said, what you said about like pulling in on those other people that are in your tribe,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
I think that is so important. Balancing does not mean that you're necessarily balancing it all by
Hmm.
yourself, right?
Yep.
Balance can look however it needs to look to get the thing
Yep.
done. And so whether it's pulling in somebody else to work on the project with you, or maybe it's hiring somebody to come in and clean your house, right? So that you can focus on this other thing you need to, right? Like that balance, you're like, that balance can look however it needs to look, right?
Yeah.
Because you may be stretched in all different ways. So don't feel like all the weight has to be on you. Like rely on the different resources that are available to you as well to help you balance
Yeah.
as well. So I wanted to throw that in when you said that.
Yeah, and I'll definitely add to that. Now, just don't be looking at your tribe and be like, you can help, you can help, you can help. It has to be those that have proven SKUs and designs that this is, they're willing to do it, they're designed to do it. We take friendly yeses, yes, but it's gonna come a
Come on, say
time.
that part again.
We
Would you say
take friendly
proven?
yeses, yes, but it comes
Yes.
a time we need skilled yeses also, so that
Yeah.
we're not backtracking, because then you're gonna be frustrated, I'm gonna be
Right.
frustrated. We don't have, but skilled yeses within the tribe is
Yes.
key, right? They have to understand your mission and where you're trying to go for it.
Hmm.
Boom, you know? And
Yeah.
even with that, like again, it's no, it all connects back to how you're wired.
Hmm.
I am a visionary and I can execute. But should I execute in all the things? No. Who can I train? Who can, like you said, who can I hire? What are the systems I can use? One of the things that our husband and I, for a couple years ago, he was like, "What do you want for your birthday?" I was like, "A maid." And he was like, "No, I mean a gift. That is a gift
Right.
because I can clean my house. That's not a problem. But
Right.
because at that time as well, I'm a leader in corporate. I have two businesses. I have people that connect up to me even in the business outside of corporate. So I'm working nine
Hmm.
to five, which technically Arizona time, it was like 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. But right after that, I'm going into like 3 p.m. and meetings into like my businesses, depending on which one it is. We're not even talking about the volunteer work I do
Yeah.
as well. Like I can the 5 or 6 hours it takes to clean my house. Can I just sacrifice Starbucks, Dutch Brothers, eating out
Mhm.
to be like put this in the pool to like get a maid? Like
Right.
for cooking, I can
Yep.
cook.
Yep.
But do I feel like going grocery shop? Do I feel like thinking about a menu? I want to use the time that I could be using that to rest.
Hmm.
So, how about we allocate our budget for groceries
Right.
to our meal prep lady, who is amazing, who's going to keep us
Hmm.
healthy. I don't have to worry about pesticides and all the other stuff
Right.
in my food. Like, and it tastes good. So it's like paying for those things as a convenience. And
Yep.
again, we like shrug so much a lot of times of, oh, I don't want to pay for that, or who got the money for that? You got the money for it. If
Yeah.
you really look at what you're spending it on and spending it
Mm.
on the right things to make you go further faster, is worth the investment. Investing into you so you can rest. And
Yep.
just because you can, should you do that assessment every quarter of like, where am I at now? Because seasons change. And maybe you're like, no, I can get back into doing this. I can get back to, cleaning my house for joy and pleasurement. I just don't enjoy it at all. On top of it not being time. So I don't think I'll ever get back to that. But I enjoy the rest,
Right.
being able to do it. So knowing how you're wired, knowing what you can release off of your plate, either through, like you said, outsourcing, but what systems can I create to support me?
Absolutely. I just want to add in real quick. Just there's different people hopping on. If you have any questions, feel free to use the comment section, and I'm gonna be scrolling to make sure we don't miss anything. Because I see people hopping on. I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, that's good. And I think that's even for myself, right? Just remembering like to pay attention to what we are spending
Yeah.
on and just say, okay, it's okay to say no to that, to do this thing that I really, want to do, what we really need, to be able to help us out. So
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
good. Yeah. So one thing, well, you actually just kind of talked on, because one thing as I was, right before I went to class today, um, it popped in my mind and I wrote this little statement down. It was like, balance requires awareness and a strategy.
Mhm.
And so that's something for us to remember,
Yeah.
right? Like awareness for ourselves, right? What's
Hmm.
going on
Yeah.
with us, what's going on around us within our environment, and then putting a strategy in
Yeah.
place so that we maintain that healthy balance.
Yeah.
So write that down for yourself. Balance requires awareness and
Right.
a strategy.
Yep.
And evaluate yourself. See how you're doing. Where's some things you need to like shift,
Hmm.
right? Look at those different areas of your life.
Yeah. And writing it down. I know a lot of times we like, oh, I know it in my head. Not plan it out on your calendar. Plan it out on your calendar. Plan it out on a piece of paper. Look at where your time is going. Look at where you want it to go. Because I'm telling you, if you don't put that strategy, starting with this is where I'm at, this is where I want to go, this is what I need to do. If you don't put that there and put it down, someone else is gonna do it. You're gonna be tossed like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. You need to be in control of what's going on with
Yeah.
your schedule, your life, right?
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
said, because then if you don't, somebody else will be like, I can show you how to do that. I can fill in your time.
And
So
I have lived that life before, and nope, not going back.
no. Mm-mm. Is there anything that you could think of that we might have forgotten? Any questions? You got
Um,
anything?
no, I don't.
Think so. Oh, I
I'm
know.
not.
So, so obviously, oh, thank goodness today was my last class that I had to teach. I am
Hey,
done for the summer. So,
okay.
but what comes to my mind is there's something that is missing, right, with the younger generation. There's a piece missing when it comes to
Hmm.
balance, right? They are struggling with what does that look like for
Yeah.
themselves, right? And I think if it's not being taught, then we're going to have some people entering into adulthood in shambles, right? Just not
Yeah.
knowing what to do. So, what would you say? Because I mean, we've been talking about a little bit, but what would you say for someone who's younger that's still trying to just even deal with
Oh
life at a young
man,
age, right? Still trying to figure things out.
I
What,
work
what,
with I work with a lot of college students through my nonprofit. Amazing, amazing. Like I feel like I've truly been blessed with some of the best when it comes to the interns that I have, and they're great high performers, and with high performing, you don't have that balance. And so I'm constantly like, being that I've come from corporate, I've experienced corporate, and I get to design my organization how I would like to. It is important for me to instill with every young adult that comes into my space balance. And so, because you don't know if they're going to ever get that
yeah,
example going into corporate
absolutely.
fresh out of college, and you're already running high
Mhm,
in
mhm.
college. So it's like, it's finals week for them this week. Finals, 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 finals. Well, we're not gonna meet this week. No, no. The time that we were gonna take to meet, I want you to go take a nap.
Yeah,
I want you to go get some sleep.
yeah.
And because again, the culture is all about hustle. I feel like I'm starting to hear more conversations about rest, about like self-care, things of that nature, but making sure they know practically this is what this looks like.
Mhm,
Maybe instead of taking like 15 college credit hours, you're like, I'm gonna scale it back a little bit because I'm also working full time, or like letting them know and teaching them how to be in tune with you and where you're hitting that edge. A lot of them are at that edge, but feel like they have to keep going. But it's like, no, no, no. It's okay for you to pause. So teaching them that what that looks like, especially like it's not a penalty, it's not laziness when you want to rest, when you want to do something for you. I'm always even encouraging them of celebrating their wins. What
Yeah.
did you get through this week? They go through their week, you should still go celebrate that. It's the end of the
Hmm.
week. You know what I'm saying? Take some time out to have fun. Otherwise, you're consistently putting yourself in like that high adrenaline, that high stress, that high like, and your
Yeah.
body's gonna get used to
Yeah.
that. So, and it gets used to that. It's then not gonna be able to know I'm calm. Like, what does chilling feel like?
Yeah.
It's so weird. And I didn't learn that until my mid 20s when I started counseling. And one of the activities my counselor made me do was like sit with yourself. I was like, what? He was like, go to a park, don't put no music on, don't call nobody, sit with yourself.
Mhm.
It felt so
Yeah.
weird. And
Yeah.
now it is one of the most prized possessions of silence and solitude. I
Yeah.
don't want to talk on no phone. I don't want to hear. I just want to hear myself. And I think that's the big part of teaching them is listen to yourself, be with yourself, know how you can get rest,
Yeah.
know that you're not lazy, affirm yourself in that, and not just the hustle and grind that everybody goes. I might be countercultural. It's cool to
Right.
not do what everybody else is doing. Everybody else is
Yeah.
going to this frat, this activity, this, that, work. I'm
Yeah.
going to sit at the crib this weekend and just twiddle my thumbs.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
I feel like those
I
are
agree.
the things that need to be taught and shown to them. Like self care is not just about getting your hair and nails
Right.
done. It's literally a life practice and
Hmm.
principle of staying centered
Hmm.
so that you can perform and be not perform but be your optimal self.
Yeah. 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 I think I agree with you 100%. Yeah. So they actually have to see it being done and
Yeah.
practice it. Yeah. So I agree. So yeah, if there's anybody on here that's watching and you work with younger generations, like show them what it actually looks like and how it feels. Like allow them to be able to see that. Cause I'm with you. I used to be like so busy. Like I like to stay busy. I like being productive and
Yep.
just
Yep.
give me more. I like the challenge. I'm my best self when I wait until the last minute. Yeah, right. Like you're still stressing yourself out and adding it onto your
Yeah.
plate, right? Trying to wait till the last minute. But yeah, I know there would be times where Paul's like, just sit, don't do nothing. And I would be like, I feel like I need to be doing something. Like you
Yeah.
just don't know what to do if you've never practiced it, right? It will
Yeah.
feel weird. It'll feel uncomfortable. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I definitely would say, like, for younger people, start practicing that stuff now. So you ain't even got to worry about later. You're like, you know
Yeah.
what? This is the part of who I am. I'm already practicing this lifestyle.
Yep.
So,
And I'm glad I started learning that before I got married
hmm.
because when my counselor gave me that, I had also got out of a relationship that was just a mess. And in that I was learning myself. He was like, be with yourself. Like, go hang out, go do. And I was like, don't say less. For my 30th, I booked a solo trip to Hawaii.
Hmm.
No Wi-Fi going
All
over
by,
there.
you said
Just
solo, like all by
solo
yourself.
by myself.
Oh,
That
you
was
go.
my 30th
Hey,
birthday gift
okay.
to myself. So
Oh, okay.
many people looked at me crazy. Like, and I ain't gonna lie, I was like, hey, I wish, I did have a boo to come, but it was such an experience of like just being able to sit there and enjoy life and do something by myself and be able to like again the solitude and that beauty. So many singles also too, like I know that journey, like they be like, no, I really want someone. I did too, but embracing how I can like also I traveled a lot for work when I was single, but I didn't learn how. If I hadn't learned how to balance single, I wouldn't be able to balance marriage.
Yeah.
Like it would be a continual
Yep.
clash.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. So somebody, I'm like Nicole. She said it is so hard to just sit there. Yes, it is hard. What
It
would you
is.
say? Would you say
It is.
that? But when you're in that moment of sitting, should you allow your thoughts to just go?
Yeah.
Or
Allow your
should you?
thoughts to just go. Have a notebook, right? Have a
Mhm,
notebook as your notes are going, as your mind is going, write it all down. Write it all
mhm.
down. And then when
Yep,
you feel like it's all empty, just close your eyes. Close your eyes. Do some like breathing in and out. You
yep.
may fall asleep,
Right.
FYI. But it could be after you get all that out, you could just talk to God about whatever's going on in your heart.
Yep,
Like that's the true intimate moments. We think we gotta fill empty space with talking to people
yep,
or doing the things, but like them be them private moments. God be like, hey, kick it with me real quick.
mhm, yep. I was gonna
And
say,
that may be the
oh,
best time your inspiration comes for new ideas. Cause
mhm,
as you're emptying your mind out, you're like, oh wait, let me go ahead. That's why I be rebelling against social media a lot of
mhm,
times because you can get into the habit of the scroll. So
mhm.
now we sit there and scroll. The danger
Yeah,
of the thumb.
right,
And as you keep scrolling, I'm activating stuff over here.
right.
As you keep scrolling, it's taking the free thoughts that you have in your mind.
Yeah,
Like that downtime you can have, you're not having all these other thoughts and all these other images and all these other sayings and all these other influencers coming to your mind where what am I thinking? What do I need to write out? What do I need to activate on? What idea do I need to build upon? So
yeah, yeah. That's good. That's so good. Yeah, I was thinking as you were talking, I was like, thing that I even do sometimes is I'll turn on music,
yep.
or if I don't want music, I'll turn on to just like the different sounds of like nature, or all the different sounds that we have in different apps you could turn on. Just like soothing, right? To just kind of help calm my thoughts too. Because
Mhm.
sometimes if I'm got too much going on, then I can cause myself to start spazzing out about everything I need to do, right? I start thinking about what I need to do tomorrow, what I need to, it's like, no, like I need to just be present,
Yeah.
right? And so I think that's important for people to know too. Like it's learning how to be present with where you are right now. Like don't worry about everything else that you have to
Yeah.
do later on, because that stuff is still going to be there, but learning how to just be present in the
Yeah.
moment, and just be intentional with that time with God, like you just said too.
Yeah.
So,
Because it's in those silent times that we hear him. It's the still
mhm.
small voice.
Yep.
It's the still small voice. And I would definitely say if you haven't tried that, I think Renee 40, if you haven't tried like taking a notebook with you in the quiet times and writing it down, try that and see how that works for you. Because again, it is a practice, it is a muscle
Yep.
to build, but I guarantee you as you continue, and that's what taking these thoughts captive, taking it captive, continuing to renew your mind. Like, nope, I'm gonna get this thing down. You're not gonna run me. I'm gonna run this. So
Mhm.
let me get everything that's out, everything that's coming, keep racing. Blah, da, 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 da. Ain't nothing.
Yep.
All right, I done got everything out. What else? What's next? Nothing. All
Yep.
right, hush up so we can sit and be silent.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Look, and it made me even think. Even look, I don't know. Can you see the comments on your end or no?
Yeah, I can see the
Okay.
comments.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
All right. So even just to even think about that. So one practice that we would do in the school, when we would do school-based therapy, was mindfulness practice,
Hmm.
and trying to teach students how to cope, right, and how to just sit with themselves, right, because a lot of them just had a lot going on, right,
Yeah.
and it would be hard for them to shut things off in their mind, and so. With the mindfulness practice, if you're not familiar, like you focus on the five senses, right? See, touch, hear, smell, touch. And so you go through all those things and, close your eyes if you feel comfortable. If not, find something to focus on. But you can just in that moment, right? Like, what can I touch in this moment
Yep.
near me, right? You
Yep.
could maybe you start touching, you feel your pants leg, or maybe you feel the hairs on your leg, or like you're focusing in on that one thing, and
Yep.
then taste. What can I taste right now? Maybe you're starting to taste what you just ate, or maybe
Yeah.
you're like, I could taste my tongue, but whatever. Like you're putting your thoughts on that one thing. So
Yeah.
I would even say that like practice those mindfulness techniques in the environment, right? What can I hear? And it
Mhm.
teaches you how to not even be distracted by other things.
Yep.
So practicing those things can help you learn how to stay present too in the moment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's I teach my teens as well. I love it.
Yes, it's good. Like I remember,
Yeah.
we teaching the students, and I was like, I'm teaching this stuff. I need to be doing it myself. It's some
Right.
good stuff if
Yeah.
you really, tap into it, though.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's what meditation is, right? Like God tells
Exactly.
us even to meditate on the
Yes.
word, and it could teach you how
Yeah.
to meditate on the word.
Yeah, there's this YouTube, his name is Dappy Keys, and he
Mhm.
plays prayer instrumentals, and he has different scriptures as well. So even once you like journal it out, and if you have like YouTube on your TV and you put it on that station, like he'll have different scriptures for you to like meditate on those scriptures as he's playing the keys overlapping. So that helps as well. It's like, yo, keep my mind in perfect peace, who's he said he'll keep me in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on me. And he, like, that sits up there, and the more you meditate and say that out there, like, you're keeping my mind in perfect peace because I'm meditating on you. You're keeping my mind in perfect peace because I'm meditating on you, right? So
Yep.
that's another tool to put in your toolkit.
Absolutely. Yeah. You got to keep that toolbox full of
Yeah.
stuff because you never know what season you're going to be in and what you're going to need to pull out because not
Yes.
every tool is going to work in every
Correct.
season either. So you got to know what you can grab in the moment and it's going to
Yeah.
work too.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah. Keep it full of different stuff.
People from different stuff.
Yeah. Oh, this was good. I knew you was the right person to have on this conversation.
Oh, thank you for the invite.
Yeah. Yes, it's been fun.
Yes.
Yeah, we just got to make sure that we all in this together. We figuring it
Yeah.
out, and I think it's just important for us to know how to balance all
Right.
things in a healthy way.
Yeah.
In a healthy way.
Yeah.
So,
Because you can do
yeah,
all the things
yeah,
in a way that doesn't burn you
mhm,
out, but it's going to take that precision and intentionality and
yep,
submission.
yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. That part.
Submission, because
Oh
God is
man,
going to have a final
yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I don't see
say.
any questions or anything coming in. So, so I thank you for
Thank you.
joining for the final
Yes.
Wise Women
Such an
Wednesdays.
honor.
It's a perfect ending. Yes.
Yay.
So,
Whoop, whoop.
so anybody that is watching, this will be available as a replay once we log off. And feel free to send it to somebody else that you feel would benefit. I see somebody putting some sad tears,
Yeah.
crying that this is the last one. I almost feel like it's Tia. That's what I'm going to say. So, yes, the replay will be available. Share it, and yeah, let's just keep going. I don't know what God has in store next, so we're going to
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
all right.
Awesome. Have a
Thank
great
you again,
one.
Tiffany. Have a
No
great day.
problem. Yeah,
All
you
right.
too. All
See
right,
you
bye-bye.
again.